What would you do if the woman you loved, the one you built a life with, looked you dead in the eye and spun a web of lies so intricate, so casually, that your entire reality fractured? The night everything broke was a Tuesday, not with a bang, but with the soft, insidious glow of her phone screen at 2 a.m. I was pretending to be asleep, my heart a frantic drum against my ribs. As her thumb danced across the glass, composing messages she thought I'd never see, the air in our bedroom, usually thick with the comfort of shared dreams, was suddenly thin, suffocating, charged with an unspoken betrayal. I heard the faint, almost imperceptible chime of a new message, and then her quick, practiced deletion. My wife, Sarah, was a master of illusion, and in that moment, I knew the beautiful life we'd curated was nothing more than a stage, and I, the unwitting audience, to her secret play. The mystery wasn't asterisk, if asterisk she was cheating, but asterisk, how deep asterisk the deception ran, and what I would become once I uncovered it all. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The first crack in my perfect world appeared subtly, like a hairline fracture in a priceless vase. Sarah, usually so predictable, began to change. Late nights at work, vague excuses about client dinners that stretched into the early hours. Her phone, once left carelessly on the counter, became a guarded treasure, always face down, always within reach. I dismissed it at first, attributing it to the stress of her new marketing role at Sterling & Associates in downtown Los Angeles. We lived in a beautiful craftsman home in Silver Lake, on a quiet street off Hyperion Avenue, a place we'd poured our souls into. Our life was a picture of suburban bliss, or so I thought. Then came the receipts. Charge for a high-end steakhouse, the Palm on Flower Street, a place she knew I loved, but claimed was too expensive for a casual weeknight. She said it was a team celebration, but the date was a Saturday, and her team never worked weekends. A small, nagging doubt began to fester. I found a crumpled dry-cleaning ticket for a men's shirt in her car, a brand I didn't wear, a size that wasn't mine. My stomach churned. I started checking her mileage, noting the discrepancies between her reported commutes and the actual distance. The strange behavior wasn't just strange. It was a pattern, a carefully constructed alibi. One afternoon, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the nightstand. A text preview flashed across the screen. "Can't wait for our weekend getaway, my love. Miss you." My blood ran cold. The sender was saved as Client X, but the message was anything but professional. My hands trembled as I picked up the phone, but it was locked. She had changed her password. The humiliation washed over me, a bitter tide. I felt like a fool, a cuckold in my own home. The woman I had vowed to spend my life with, the mother of my hypothetical future children, was a stranger. Sarah, sensing my growing unease, became cold, manipulative. She'd turned my questions into accusations, twisting my concern into jealousy. "Are you checking up on me, Mark? Don't you trust me?" Her voice, once a soothing melody, now held a sharp defensive edge. She'd gaslight me, making me doubt my own sanity. "You're imagining things. You're stressed." She'd even use our shared history, our deepest vulnerabilities, as weapons. "After everything we've been through, you'd think I'd betray you." Her arrogance was breathtaking, her deception a suffocating blanket. She truly believed she was untouchable, that her lies were impenetrable. The affair partner, a man named David Miller, a senior partner at Sterling & Associates, was equally smug. I'd seen him at company events, a slick, self-satisfied grin plastered on his face. Always lingering a little too long near Sarah. He was the type who thought rules didn't apply to him, especially when it came to other men's wives. I remember one night, sitting alone in our living room, the city lights of Los Angeles twinkling outside like indifferent stars. The silence in the house was deafening, punctuated only by the distant hum of traffic on the 101. I felt utterly broken. The man I was, the man who believed in love and loyalty, was crumbling. Tears streamed down my face, hot and bitter. I wasn't just grieving the loss of my marriage. I was grieving the loss of my innocence, the naive belief that I was safe, cherished. But amidst the despair, a cold, hard resolve began to form. This wasn't just about pain anymore. This was about justice. This was about making them pay. I started gathering proof meticulously, secretly. I installed a discreet GPS tracker on her car, a small device hidden beneath the bumper. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop named Frank, who operated out of a dingy office in a strip mall in Van Nuys. Frank was a ghost, a shadow, and he delivered. Photos of Sarah and David, hand in hand, entering the Hotel Figueroa on Figueroa Street near LA Live. Receipts for lavish dinners, weekend trips to Santa Barbara, all charged to a corporate card David controlled. Audio recordings from a hidden microphone in her car, snippets of hushed conversations, laughter, intimate whispers. "I love you, David." Those words spoken by my wife were a dagger to my heart, but they were also the fuel for my fire. I compiled everything into a digital dossier, a damning collection of their deceit. My plan was intricate, designed to dismantle her life, piece by piece, legally and socially. First, the divorce. I consulted with a shark of a lawyer, Evelyn Reed, whose office overlooked the bustling intersection of Wilshire and Grand. She specialized in high-asset divorces and had a reputation for leaving opponents in tatters. I presented her with my evidence, a thick file that made her eyes gleam. "This," she said, a predatory smile playing on her lips, "is a goldmine." We filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences, but I held back the full extent of my evidence, a strategic move. Next, the social trap. Sarah was obsessed with her image, her carefully curated online persona. She was a rising star at Sterling and Associates, known for her integrity and dedication. I created an anonymous email account and began sending snippets of the evidence to key figures in her company, to industry blogs, to her closest friends. Not the full story, just enough to plant seeds of doubt to make them question her. The whispers started, then grew louder. Her colleagues began to look at her differently, a subtle shift in their smiles, a hesitation in their conversations. The public exposure happened swiftly and brutally. The divorce proceedings began, and Evelyn, with surgical precision, unleashed the full force of my evidence. The photos, the receipts, the audio recordings, all presented in open court. The courtroom on Hill Street, usually a place of hushed tones, was filled with gasps. Sarah sat there, her face draining of color, her arrogance replaced by a dawning horror. David Miller, called as a witness, squirmed under Evelyn's relentless cross-examination, his smugness evaporating into a pathetic display of cowardice. The local news picked up the story. Marketing executives' double life exposed in divorce court. Her carefully constructed world imploded. Sarah was completely ruined. She lost her job at Sterling and Associates, her reputation in tatters. Her friends, disgusted by the revelations, abandoned her. Her family, once so proud, now looked at her with shame. The divorce settlement left her with little, her deceit costing her dearly. She tried to fight, to salvage some dignity, but there was nothing left to save. The legal system, slow and deliberate, had delivered its verdict, and the social court had been even harsher. I saw her once, months later, at a coffee shop on Larchmont Boulevard. She was alone, her eyes hollow, her once vibrant presence diminished to a ghost. She didn't see me, and I didn't approach. There was no triumph, no joy in her destruction, only a profound emptiness. The revenge had been executed perfectly, but it hadn't brought back the man I was, nor erased the pain. It had simply left a void where a life once stood. The silence that followed was the heaviest sound I had ever known. The end.